Record. Fantastic. If you can see the screen, just put number 1 in the group chat, or let me know you can see the screen, and then I'll start the session. So if anyone can see my screen, just put number 1 in the group chat, or just let me know that you can see the screen, and then I can start the session. Fantastic, thank you. Once again, good morning and welcome to another session of Morning Glory. So today's Friday, the 8th of May, 2020. So once again, thank you for joining me this morning. And we're still continuing our season and our sessions in regards to the person you are today. Do you represent the past of where you are coming from, or are you representing the future in terms of where you are going, right? So that's the session that we're still on. Are you representing your past, or are you representing your future? That's where we're still at. All right, fantastic. So every single day, I always go through the same picture. And there's a reason why I do that. 1, because of repetition, and 2, because of what the picture actually reminds me of. And I always say, whenever I see this picture, it reminds me of a girl, or it shows me the innocency of a child. And it always reminds me of a picture that Christ says that when you come to him, you must come to him believing as a child, right? And I always say this because children, until they get to a certain age, they do not know the meaning of no. They do not understand or know what fear is until fear is installed into them, right? I was saying the other day that there's a statistic that says before a child is 11 years old, they have heard the word no over 150,000 times, right? That's very significant. Before a child is at the age of 11 years old, they have heard the word no over 150,000 times. And then it says before a child is 11 years old, they have heard yes around 5,000 times. So you can see the significant difference in terms of how many yeses they've heard and how many no's they've heard. But this picture reminds me of a child that is still believing, a child that believes dreaming is still possible, a child that believes that everything she wants to acquire, everything she wants to have in life, everything she wants to ascertain in life is possible for her to have, right? And this picture for me is really, really important because it just represents freedom of the mind. And it represents her allowing her mind to flow in its natural state, which we are supposed to do anyway, right? And I always tell people that that picture reminds me of the word in Jeremiah 1:5, when the Lord was speaking to Jeremiah and telling him that before I formed you, I had knew you. And he had already ordained him as a prophet to the nations. And I'm sharing this because each and every one of us, before we were born, God had already assigned a vision to us, assigned a purpose for us, right? Assigned what he wanted us to do, assigned what and how he wanted us to become. And it's important that for our lives, we search to know who we really are. And I always say, we're searching for our inner man. The person we are searching for, the things we are searching for is for our spirit man. Because once you are in alignment with your spirit man, once you are in alignment with who you really are spiritually, who you really are inside before you became a physical being, is when your work is now when you walk in your purpose, right? Before I start the session, I wanted to ask a question and I want everyone to answer. You can either say and talk, or you can write in the group chat. If you could name 5 people, or even 3 people, 5 or 3 people you follow, either tell me or write down in the chat the names of 5 people who you follow. 5 people you follow. 3 or 3 minimum, but 5 people you follow. Or if you only got 3, then 3, or if only 1, then 1. Who do you look up to? When I mean follow, who do you look up to? Who would you like to swap places with? Who do you see and think, I would love to live their life? I would love to swap places with them. 3 or 5 people. So you can either write it down in the group chat, or you can speak it. And whilst people are writing or thinking, I'll name the people that I follow, the people that I wouldn't mind swapping places with. 1, my Pastor Bento, and I'll go through these people later on. 2, the founders of the company that I do the trading with, the Monet brothers. 3, the guy called David Montier. He's one of the richest black men in network marketing in America. Les Brown, he's one of the best motivational speakers in the world. And Eric Thomas, he's the number one motivational speaker in the world. And another guy called Inky Johnson, right? That's the 6 people that I follow. 5 of them I wouldn't mind swapping places with. So no one's responded. I'm not going to continue until people respond. So I'm waiting for people to respond. Who do you follow? I want 3 or 5 names of the people that you are following. From now on, the conversation is going to be very, very interactive. So who are you following? Lauren, Jerome, Letitia, Melandra. Who are you following? Jerome, Robert, Kiyosaki, Eric Thomas. Okay, cool. I'm waiting for the others. Once the others let me know, then we'll start the session. I'm going to make the session very, very interactive today so that I know everyone's paying attention, so I know that everyone's listening. So who are you following? I'm waiting for 3 or 5 or 1 or 2 names. Who are you following? Who do you follow? So far, only Jerome has answered us. I'm waiting for the remaining. Sinak, thank you. I'm waiting for the rest. I'm waiting for Melandra and I'm waiting for Letitia, and then we'll move on. Who are you following? Who are you following? Joe Metal. Okay, cool. I don't have people I aspire to be and never have. Okay, but who do you look up to? Because everyone has someone that they look up to. Who do you look up to? Who do you look up to then? My director, my manager, Allah for that. There's a few. Named. I want names. I want names. There's a reason why I'm going through this today. I want people to be as specific as possible. Who do you look up to? I want their names. Who do you look up to, or who wouldn't you mind swapping places with? Anthony Joshua. Okay, cool. So Letitia, I want a name of who you look up to, or who you aspire to be like, or who, I don't know, you think is a good role model, etc. Michelle Obama, I knew you would say that. Everyone says that. So Melandra, waiting for you. When you were younger, who did you look up to? When you were young, who did you want to be like? Or now, who do you find motivational, or who do you listen to on a daily basis? And then we'll start. But this is very, very important. There's a reason why I'm asking this question. There's a reason why I'm asking this question. So Jerome at the moment said Anthony Joshua, Robert Kiyosaki, and Eric Thomas. Lauren, for work, I look up to Stephen Conway. Fantastic. The teacher says Michelle Obama, Sinach, and Joe Metal. All right, cool. For those that feel like writing more, that's fine. If not, then that's absolutely fine. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the people that I listen to on a daily basis, the people that I follow. And then after, I'm going to let you know the essence of why I'm sharing this, right? I always say that in life, people should see where you are going. Yeah, people should see where you are heading to by seeing the people you listen to on a daily basis, the books you read, or the people you surround yourself with. By me seeing who you surround yourself with, by me seeing the books you read, by me hearing what you listen to on a daily basis, even the church you go to says something about who you are, right? Even the church you go to, or if you're not a Christian, wherever you worship tells somebody about where you are going and who you are. Because wherever church you go to, you follow that man of God for a reason, all right? Wherever church you're going to, wherever ministry you're going to, you are following that person's vision. You are there because of that person's vision, because of maybe what God has shown you about them, but there's a reason why you are there. So this guy here, his name is David Montier, right? He's an African-American, and he's the number 1 African-American network marketer in the world. So he makes $500,000 plus monthly every month, right? He makes $500,000 monthly every single month. He's in the industry of network marketing. And what he does as well, they call him the belief coach, because his whole ethos is wherever you can believe in your mind, you can conceive it, you can achieve it, right? And what he does is whenever he's on live on Instagram or he's doing a talk to people, he just breaks down the Bible. And he's always saying the Bible is the best book we have in terms of foundations, in terms of teaching people belief, in terms of teaching people faith, in terms of teaching people how to get to where they want to go to in life, right? So this is a guy that I listen to every single day. I listen to this guy every single day. And he just breaks down the mind, how powerful the mind is, how the mind works. He breaks down the subconscious mind. He breaks down faith. He breaks down the Bible. So this is someone that I listen to on a daily basis. All right. This guy, his name's Inky Johnson. He was drafted to become a professional NFL player. And as you can see from his hand, he doesn't play NFL anymore. He got injured. But he's a public speaker. And his whole thing is that everything you go through in life is to benefit someone else. Everything you go through in life is to help someone else. Everything you go through in life is to help somebody else come out of their struggle. And one line that I love about him, he says that in life, it's not about you preaching a sermon, but it's about you living a sermon. Because once you live something and you come out of it, then people can see you and say, because he's done it, I can do it. So that's two people, right? The third and fourth people are the Moyne brothers. So these brothers here, they're the founders of the company called Milius, the company that I trade with, right? They're multi-millionaires, and their company is soon to become a multi-billion-dollar company, and they're impacting the lives of thousands of people worldwide at the moment. The person on the right, Pastor Bentel, he's the senior pastor and the visionary for the ministry that I go to, GICC. He operates in the fivefold ministry, so teacher, pastor, prophet, evangelist, and apostle. And then these two men here, Eric Thomas, he's the number one public speaker at the moment. He's the number one public speaker at the moment. And his whole thing is that use your pain to drive your passion. Use your pain to benefit from your pain. Use your pain to make you profit, right? He's all about speaking about every single person goes through pain. Every single person goes through trials. Every single person goes through tribulations. But it's about how you handle those tribulations that makes you who you are. And then this guy, his name's Les Brown. He's been a number one public speaker for a long time. So most of the speakers that I listen to, they all come literally from Les Brown, like Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, David Montier. Les Brown is someone that they've all listened to. So he's impacted millions of lives worldwide. He's 75 years old at the moment, but he's impacted millions of lives worldwide, right? Every single person I've shared with you, they're very wealthy in their field. They're very well known in their field, and monetarily they're wealthy as well. But that's the positives that I told you about, right? I shared the positive sides about them. Let me go back to David Montier. David Montier, at the age of 22, 23, no, even later, 24, 25, he was still living at his parents' home, completely broke. He had £1,000 to his name. That's all he has to his name. Sorry, $1,000. He had $1,000 to his name. That's all he'd done. That's all he had in his pocket. And every single day on a daily basis, he was pursuing his dream to become a number one networker within the industry of network marketing. He would go to meetings outside of his state, right, and sleep in his car. Numerous occasions. He'll go to meetings outside of his town, outside of his state, and sleep in his car for weeks, for days, and for months. But all the hard work that he was doing and the belief he had paid off, because now the money he makes and the lives he influences. Inky Johnson, he was signed to be a professional NFL player, and he had 10 games left. And I think on the fourth or the fifth game, before he had become a professional athlete, he got injured. No one needed to get injured, but you can see his right arm is paralyzed. Not only is his right arm paralyzed, when he got injured, he was losing so much blood that the doctors had to do an immediate operation on him there and then, otherwise he would have died because of the amount of blood that he lost. So he's got veins that are running all over his body, from his neck, from his back to his arm. He's got different veins running all over his body in different places, right? So what he does now, he uses what he went through to teach people that you can still become something. And sometimes God derails you from what you believe was your purpose to take you somewhere else in terms of where he really wants to take you. The Moyne brothers, once again, them two are in the industry of network marketing. Once they were homeless for 1 or 2 months. There was a season where they were living with £1 to £3 a day. Right? There was a point where they were both in, these two especially, they were in over £70,000 worth of debt. When Monet proposed to his wife, he proposed to her, but he didn't have the ring. So when she said yeah, he then had to go and get the ring off credit, and he had to borrow someone's card for him to do that. Pastor Bentel, the reason why I admire this man is because he's not only because of his humbleness, but the things he's been through, and he still stands. The things he's been through, but he still teaches people and treats everyone the same. You can backbite him, you can cuss him, you can slap him, but he is someone for me that really represents to me what Christ was. Like when I think of Christ and the personality of Christ and the being of Christ, he's really someone I say, this guy really walks in the footsteps of Christ, right? I remember when his mum passed away, that same very evening, he still went out to preach. And he didn't tell anybody, nobody knew unless she knew him. When his mum passed away, he was still out preaching at night. Nobody knew. But I know people that follow him, I say to myself, oh, I would love to prophesy like this guy, or I would love to see like this guy, because the guy can see, the guy can prophesy, the guy can break down the word like there's no tomorrow. But could you go through the things he's gone through? Eric Thomas, he was kicked out by his mum's house at the age of 17, 18 years old. He was homeless. He was eating out of trash cans, sleeping in people's gardens, sleeping in abandoned buildings. It took him 12 years to get a 4-year degree. But he was still pursuing his dreams. He was still pursuing his purpose. Right? And now he's the #1 speaker in the world. He gets paid over 100 grand every time he speaks. Every booking for him to speak, he pays 100 grand. He gets paid 100 grand minimum. Les Brown. He was diagnosed with cancer 25 years ago. And the doctors told him that he had 2 months to live. That was 25 years ago. He's still living now. He's still impacting lives. He said that his mission is that until he has this saying, live full, die empty. Live full, die empty. And what he's saying is that until you have fulfilled your purpose and you have given everything that God has placed in you out to people, you shouldn't die. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed to die with your dreams and your desires. He has this saying, which I love, right? And he always says that, imagine on your deathbed, all your dreams come to you. And they say, we came to you with this dream. We came to you with this vision. And now we have to die and get buried with you. And we only could have came to you. It was for you to manifest us. But now we have to die and bury and get buried with you. And whenever I listen to that, it gives me shivers. Right? But the reason why I'm sharing this is because, like, some people mention Michelle Obama, some people mention Sinach, Joe Mettle, Eric Thomas, Robert Kiyosaki. It's good to follow people and look up to people. But would you be able to go through the things they've gone through and still stand? You see, Christ said, follow me and I'll make you a fisher of men. And whilst the disciples followed him, right, they saw everything he went through. They saw him heal people. They saw him pray for people. But they also saw him get taken, get beaten away, and get crucified. So for the rest of the night that continued to follow him, they knew why they were following him. It wasn't because of the good things they had seen him do. See, I always say this, it's easy to want to be like someone or trade place with someone when you see their life, or when you see they live in a fancy house or they have a lot of money. But would you be able to go through the trials and tribulations they've gone through and still stand? Like I always say, the reason why it was my mum passed away on a Saturday evening, right? October the 22nd, 6th Saturday. It was an evening. And I remember, right, when she was in the kitchen and she was foaming and she was going for a cardio arrest, I went upstairs and I packed my church clothes for the next day. And I said to myself, whether she lives or dies, tomorrow I need to be in church. Why? Because of the man I follow. I follow Pastor Bentel. When his mom passed away that same evening, he was preaching. So because I follow him, some way, somehow, God must give me the same grace that he gave him to go and preach. The same night that he's finding out his mom died, he still went to go preach. There's no way I can say that I follow this man. I've been following this man for 10 years. There's no way I can call this man my spiritual father. But yet I go through the same thing he's gone through and I'm not handled it the same way. That means there's something wrong with how I'm following him. There's something wrong. Right? Anyone that was at my mom's funeral. I remember the week before my mom's funeral, I was talking to one of my friends, right? And I was saying to her, oh, do you know what? I'm slacking. And she's like, what do you mean? I goes, listen, Eric Thomas's message, I can, I will, I must. He was sharing a time where his mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. He had lost his aunt, he had lost his uncles, he had lost several family members. And even though he had lost several family members, he was still putting out videos every single day. He was still pursuing his purpose. And I was like, no, I'm slacking. She was like, what do you mean? I goes, I'm slacking because if it was Eric Thomas, he would still be putting out his material. He would still be doing videos. He would still be talking to people. He would still be doing his public speaking. And she goes, yeah, Joseph, but you're going through a difficult time. I said, no, it's not that I'm going through a difficult time. It's that the people I follow, they've gone through the seasons I've gone through and they've overcome. So why can I not overcome? And I remember the day before the funeral, I was praying. I said, God, let me stand today. Let me stand today. And I love speaking, but public speaking is one of my things. And may I touch the crowd. Use me to touch the crowd. And for anyone that was at the funeral, I will never forget how my speech went. Me, myself, I was stunned with how composed I am and just how silent the crowd was when I spoke. Right? Inky Johnson, the reason why I love listening to this guy, because he reminds me of when I got injured. Like all I ever wanted to do was become a professional footballer. That's all I ever wanted to do. I'll never forget the time I was on trial for Arsenal. I pulled my hamstring at the age of 13 years old and I never recovered from there. But all my life, and you know what the funny thing is, every time I look at Inky Johnson, it reminds me of a time where I think I was 12 or 11 at the time. And my mom took me to church. She took me to church. I remember she took me to church. This was probably the first time I went to church in my life. From when I can remember anyway. She took me to church and I was playing football then. I was on trial for Tottenham. And then there was a prophet from America and he laid his hands on me. So I'm expecting him to say, oh, your son's going to be a professional footballer, etc. So he lays his hands on me and I've got my eyes closed. And then he says to me, this your son, he's going to be a great man of God. And I looked at my mum and I said to her in French, this guy's stupid, isn't he? And then she started laughing. I goes, is this guy really a man of God? It's because he's stupid, because if he could see anything, he'll know that I'm going to be a footballer. And she looked at me, right, and she started laughing. And it wasn't until, I remember a couple of months before she passed away, when me and her was talking, and she said to me, oh, you know, since you're young, there's always been prophecies over your life that you was going to be a great man of God. Hence why you went through the struggles you've been through. Right? But the reason I'm sharing this today is because Christ says, follow me and I will make you a fisher of men. Apart from Christ, we all have role models. We all have role models. Paul said, look up to me, imitate me as I imitate Christ. In the book of Corinthians, Paul said, imitate me as I imitate Christ. Who are you imitating? Because the funny thing is, when I ask people, who do you look up to or who do you listen to? A lot of people say, oh no, I don't look up to no one or But if you really deep it, there's somebody you look up to knowingly or unknowingly. Knowingly or unknowingly, there's some of the actions you're taking, the things you are doing, it's either subconscious, spiritually, or subconscious, you just not knowing physically, but there's somebody who you are following. There's somebody's footsteps you are following, knowingly or unknowingly. Knowing or unknowingly, there's somebody whose footsteps you are following. There's somebody who you are being like, knowingly or unknowingly. And it's important to go through your roots. What I also know, where am I coming from? The things I'm going through now, the things I'm doing, is this a pattern in the family? Is this the pattern of somebody I know? Because you might not even know the person, right? But for you to get to your destination, the people you have around you, even the people you have around you, it's important. Would you ask yourself, would I swap places with them? Because if you wouldn't, why are you around them? Like, would I like to swap places with them? Would I like to be them for a day? Because the people you're around are supposed to inspire you. If you go to a church, your pastor, you should want to be like your pastor. For me, I believe if you are doing something, and whoever introduced you to that thing, or whoever you listen to, if you wouldn't like to swap places with them, then there's something wrong. That's my personal belief. Then I believe you're wasting your time. Now, if I go to a church and I wouldn't like to swap places with my man of God, there's something wrong. If I go to a mosque, if I go to wherever other religious places people go to, at my workplace, if I wouldn't like to swap places with my CEO, then there's something wrong with me. This is my personal belief, because you should never follow someone or be doing something that somebody's doing if I wouldn't like to swap places with them. And when I mean swap places, be in their position. Or acquire some of the things they have, because then why are you there? Like, if you're working a full-time job, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But desire to own the company, desire to have the same amount of money that your CEO is having, desire to be in their position. Right? Because knowingly or unknowingly, we are following somebody. And the person we are following, the person we are listening to, they will help assist our future, negatively or positively. Whoever you listen to, whoever you spend time with, negatively or positively, they are affecting your future. Negatively or positively. It's up to you to choose. You see, I choose the people I listen to. I choose the people I watch. It's really important, because it's your life. The people you are listening to, the people you are watching, the programs you are watching, is it helping your life? Is it building your future? Like, it's a popular thing at the moment on Instagram. All the ladies, they're watching Becoming on Netflix, Becoming on Netflix. But do half of the ladies even know Michelle Obama's battles? Do you know her battles? Or are you just watching it because it's trending at the moment? All right? The people you listen to, yes, it's good to see them at their place of success, but do your research on what have they been through. Because whatever they've been through is the reason why they are the person today. Every individual that I've talked about, whatever they have been through, there's a reason why they are the people today, and why they are inspiring people, touching lives and impacting the world, because of the things they've been through. Because you see, in life, it's the trials and tribulations that make us strong. It's the hardships that make us strong. I never knew how strong I was until I lost my dad, my grandma, my mom, and my granddad. I didn't know how strong I was. I didn't know that I could be in a position where my mom would die and I'd have to look after my two little brothers. I didn't know I'd be able to do it. I never knew that I'll be able to stand strong at my mom's funeral and speak how I spoke. I never knew until I went through it. Right? It's the difficult times in life that make us. The difficult times. When I got into trading, I lost a lot of money. I tell everyone, anyone that knows me, I've lost over $8.5 from trading. It wasn't until I lost that money that made me realize that actually I'm so strong in this field, because I have no emotions when it comes to, I have no emotions when it comes to money. The one thing about trading is your mindset. You have to have a strong mindset. If you do not have a strong mindset, you can never be a positive. You can never make profit from trading. Never. Never. Right? So the difficult times that we experience in life that make us who we are today. And whoever we live, and you see, the reason why I asked this question, because for people that couldn't answer it, there's books you read. So there's a reason why you're reading that book. And that book is helping build a picture of your future. There's programs you watch. There's reasons why you're watching that program. So whenever you're doing something, have it in your not subconscious, but in your conscious mind. Why am I reading this book? There's someone I listened to, and what he said was very profound. He says, before he reads a book, he studies the author. He said he doesn't read a book for the sake of reading it. He says before he reads a book, he studies the author, because once you study the author, you can understand their perspective. You can understand their view onto why they write how they write, or why they wrote the things they wrote. So every book you read, every program you watch, study the person behind it, because once you study the person behind it, then you are able to build a rapport with that person. Because, for example, if I was to read a book now about, I don't know, making money, and the person that wrote it was a Satanist, I wouldn't read that book because of the spirit attached to that book, the things spoken over that book, right? The person's perspective of the book, the person's perspective of life. I believe in light, he believes in darkness. We cannot comprehend. We cannot walk together. So be very, I'll leave you with this, right? Be mindful of the books you are reading, the information you are taking in. And whatever book you are reading, whatever information you're taking in, study the author, study the person behind it. Because knowingly or unknowingly, that person is contributing to your future. Knowingly or unknowingly. Knowingly or unknowingly, that person is Katherine Coleman. I love that. I love Katherine Coleman. Knowingly or unknowingly. Right? So I'll leave everyone with that today. And I'll put the recording of today's session on the group chat. Stop the